The Home Mortgage Law Show is a paid program and is intended as a resource guide for education, information, and entertainment purposes and is not intended to provide specific legal advice. The information that you hear should not be used as a substitute for competent legal advice from a professional attorney. Hiring of an attorney is an important decision which should not be based on advertising or the information that you hear today.
Good afternoon and welcome to the Home Mortgage Law Show, sponsored by Morris, duPont, PA and Regal Tax Advisory Group. We're with you every Saturday afternoon from 2 until 4 on News Talk 610 WIOD and 970 WFLA. Whether you're in the Tampa area or down in the Keys, the number is the same to call and talk to the experts. Attorneys Will Morris and Shay duPont. It's 866-610-6397, 866-610-NEWS, AT&T Wireless customer star 610 on Facebook and Twitter. It's the Home Mortgage Law Show or Morris duPont, PA.
That's right. Morris duPont, PA. That's the name of the law firm.
It's got a ring to it, Shay. I like it.
Do you?
I
do you like
I really,
it?
really do. Except when sometimes I'm called Mr. duPont, which, I don't really take exception to. But, I said, listen, have you ever seen Miss duPont? Tall, striking blonde woman. I look far from it. Okay.
Well, with a name like law firm name Morris duPont, if you don't see it in writing and you see that slash through it or the space, of course, people will call you.
It's got a nice ring to it.
People do call you Mr. duPont.
All the time.
They do?
All the time. All the time. I don't, I got to the point I stopped even correcting them. This one guy, this clerk in the court, he's probably listening. He listens every Saturday. He called me Mr. duPont for a long, long time. Finally, I said, my name really isn't Mr. duPont. All right?
I think what's sadder is they think your first name is Morris.
Right. That is sad, isn't it? Like a cat.
Gee, what am I, chopped liver over here? Right. Chopped liver? Shay, what's that? Who's that Shay girl on the air with you anyway? What has she got to do with anything?
Mr. Morris duPont, welcome.
The law firm's name is Morris duPont, PA, standing for Professional Association. And, of course, my esteemed partner, Will Morris, manages the foreclosure defense department and all the general litigation that Morris duPont does. So if you're in litigation, if you have a foreclosure case, Will Morris is the man to talk to, and his attorneys there and paralegals and all his helpers there over in the foreclosure defense department. And I, Shay duPont, manage the loss mitigation department. So I oversee loan modifications, short sales, deed in lieu, settlement of second mortgages. Any time that we're negotiating directly with a lender, that's the department that I'm overseeing. And then we've got Michelle Hanash, who oversees the bankruptcy department, debt settlement, credit restoration. So that's basically the way that the law firm is set up. We've been doing the Home Mortgage Law Show here for almost 5 years. We're coming up on our 5th anniversary. I know, Will.
Wow. I tried to do the calculations for how many weeks was, and I got stumped somewhere at about 1 million.
Calculate how many years?
About 1,500,000 I got stumped.
Did you?
Yes.
Spent all last weekend doing that probably too, right?
I carried several ones. It didn't work.
Well, you keep carrying them. Maybe they'll come to fruition. So we've been doing the Home Mortgage Law Show for almost 5 years because, of course, the Making Home Affordable program came out in March of 2009. And this program was incredibly complicated, but we saw how it could make huge differences for homeowners. We individually had clients that were going through the foreclosure process that had defaulted on their mortgages, and we both started investigating the Making Home Affordable program, did a couple of loan mods. You were defending, I think, a couple of foreclosures,
right.
and put our forces together, and it's been heaven ever since.
There we are, 5 years later.
Absolutely.
Wow.
And
Amazing.
I'm digging your shirt today with the Morris duPont logo on it.
Thank you. I thought you might like that.
I like it. I like the color. It's very handsome.
Thank you.
And so here on the show, we talk about the different things that could affect you and your home mortgage. We talk about what's new with foreclosure defense, with loan modifications. We certainly love to take your call. So please feel free to call in, ask any questions you might have about your home mortgage, about the escrow on the property, your homeowners association, filing a foreclosure action, whatever it may be that has to do with your property. Or, of course, for my partner, Will Morris, you could ask anything about litigation, and he would probably have the answer for you.
Except I don't remember what the statute of limitations on breach of contract was from 2 weeks ago.
That's okay. And I wanted to talk about something that was in the news because because this is something that, of course, our clients are certainly wondering about. And I get a lot of questions about this in the consultations. I was doing some consultations last week in Tampa,
Right, how was
St. Pete,
that?
and the Doral offices. Of course, it was wonderful. I love
Great.
meeting with people. I really do. Thank you, anyone and everyone who calls the 800 number, the 800-974-2712. When you call 800-974-2712, you are connected at the physical law firm of Morris DuPont. We have people that work on the weekends that agree to answer the phone calls during the time of the radio show and for a couple hours after the radio show. And they will schedule you for a free consultation, and you can schedule a consultation in any of these offices: St. Petersburg, Tampa, Dadeland, Doral, Aventura, Fort Lauderdale, Plantation, Boca Raton, and West Palm Beach. So we will meet you at one of these offices, and we will analyze your particular situation and see whether or not we think you can qualify for a loan modification, a short sale, or if you should be defending that foreclosure action on an investment property, or whether you should just agree to a consent judgment. Whatever those options are, we will explain them to you, and we'll do some calculations for you to see why we think you do or do not qualify for certain programs and explain it to you. I'll look at the docket. That is the online report of everything that's gone on in your foreclosure case. In fact, I also call the office, the Doral office sometimes, and speak to Jennifer Barrow, a great foreclosure defense attorney in our office.
My right hand.
Yep.
Awesome.
And ask her to review the docket with us. So there's lots that we do in these consultations. So if you'd like to schedule a free consultation, and the key word there is free, please call the law firm of Morris DuPont. I'll give you the number again. It's 800-974-2712.
Or as you like to say it, 2712.
That's right. 800-974-2712. Call the law firm of Morris DuPont and schedule your free consultation. There's people in the office right now that can do it. And you might be meeting with me. You might be meeting with JC. You might be meeting with Will, depending on which office that you schedule your consultation for. But we're always happy to meet with people and tell them what we think their options are. If any of you out there have had a consultation with me or anyone in our office, and you'd like to tell the other listeners what a consultation is like from your point of view, please give us a call here at the radio station, because we would like to ask you some questions and have you tell the listeners what a consultation with Morris DuPont is really like, and how you felt after the consultation, what kind of experience you had with one of the people that will meet with you at Morris DuPont. So that would be great if we could get someone to call in who's done a consultation. What's the number here, Natalie?
It's 866-610-NEWS, 866-610-6397.
Yeah, I'd really like that if someone could call in and talk about the free consultation. I don't think we've ever gone through that.
No, we haven't done that. You know, it's amazing how the reach of this show is. You know, let's just, yesterday, as a matter, or day before yesterday, met with somebody whose family member is a judge in Washington, D.C., and recommended that the person call us to come and meet with us. Turns out that person is a celebrity, a person I know really, really well. And I was so honored to meet with them.
That is so
It's amazing
cool.
how the reach of the show.
Well, and on iHeartRadio, a lot of people listen to it on the internet, and they listen to it, and they actually, some of them don't even have a mortgage. They just think the show is entertaining. How that can be, I'm really not sure. But it is. It's true. We get a lot of positive feedback from people, and we feel very, very blessed.
Let's face it, we're not radio people. We're lawyers, you know, and we don't understand how the dynamics of this show works. But guess what? It apparently works.
It's been working.
And I'm not trying to knock it. I'm not trying to fix it, because it is not broke.
Right? I agree. So there's other ways of contacting us. I also wanted to mention the website, homemortgagelaw.com. So you can go onto homemortgagelaw.com and learn more about Morris DuPont, learn more about us, and contact us for an appointment.
And that number to contact attorneys Will Morris, Shea DuPont, and the entire staff at Morris DuPont PA is 800-974-2712. 800-974-2712. We're going to hit the phones after the break here on the Home Mortgage Law Show. You're listening to the Home Mortgage Law Show, brought to you by Morris DuPont PA and Regal Tax Advisory Group. In the house, attorneys Will Morris and Shea DuPont, and they're taking your calls right now. It's toll free to call the show, 866-610-NEWS, 866-610-6397. AT&T Wireless customers, star 610. Let's hit the phone straight up with Frank.
Hi, Frank.
Hello, good afternoon. I wanted to ask a question. I had a modification done, and I'm on my third payment, and I got a notice that it says you are hereby notice of hearing on plaintiff motion to reopen case for filing motion to return original note and mortgage.
Return original note and mortgage.
Okay, so what happens is, even though you're in a trial modification, you're essentially in a trial modification. You haven't gotten the permanent yet, right?
No, everything is done.
No, if you're in your third payment of your trial modification or your permanent modification.
No, my permanent modification. I'm on my third or fourth payment. Yeah.
So the notice you're getting, you shouldn't pay much of attention to it, because what they're asking for is simply that they get back the original of the note and mortgage that they had to file in the court in order to try to get the final judgment against you. So all they're going to do is get back that document, and they should immediately thereafter dismiss that case and close it out. Well, actually, no, the case was dismissed. They're asking to reopen the case so they can get back those documents.
Oh, because I called the attorney. The attorney says, no, our case is closed already.
Yeah. I wouldn't worry about it. They're just trying to get back the original documents.
Oh, okay.
Well, congratulations.
So it's just kind of a housekeeping, kind of thing, because the original note is now in the case file, and of course we don't want an original note to be in a case file.
Right.
We want the original note to be in the custody of the lender.
Right.
Okay.
So they're just trying to do some housekeeping. Don't worry about it. And congratulations on your permanent modification.
Thank you very much.
Yeah, Frank, how do you like it? Did you get a principal reduction?
Yes, a lot.
Wow.
What's a lot?
What was the balance was $562, and I ended up with a balance of $175.
Whoa!
Oh,
that is huge.
That's almost $400,000.
That is huge.
I know, but it's also I had a high interest rate, but I didn't care. It was like 3.75.
That's not so bad.
What do you mean a high interest rate of? Did you say 3.75?
Yeah, 3.75.
Oh, poor thing.
For the life of the loan?
Yeah.
That's good.
Oh, that's great. Come on.
But there's something they did again, which I don't understand. After the third payment on the modification, not the trial payment, with the modification, they raised my payment by $290, and it is for PMI.
I don't know if they're supposed to be putting PMI. That's really, really tricky, because let me explain something, Frank, on this. When they give you a loan modification, they're supposed to modify the terms of your existing mortgage to create a payment that is at or below 31% of your gross monthly income. So what?
The new notes that I signed, which is a permanent modification, it was $1,500 and change, but then I got a payment raised by $30. I didn't care. I didn't worry about it.
Yeah, that might just be an escrow adjustment.
Yeah, then I got a fourth payment and way by $290, and then when I called to find out what was it, they said it's PMI.
Yeah, I would probably want to look at your documents to see whether or not legally they have the right to place PMI on this loan at this point. I don't know that they do. Maybe if it's an FHA loan, because of the new FHA requirements regarding PMI, which is also being disputed right now by the National Board of Realtors. But the PMI on an FHA, I can see it. But when you modify, I'm not really sure whether or not they can do that. So I'd probably want to possibly push a little bit harder on that.
Okay, maybe I could just come to one of your offices. You guys can handle that.
Also you can just email me. Frank, you can probably just email me, and if you can scan and email me like your permanent loan modification, and maybe you and I just have a conference call. I might be able to just analyze it by looking at the document itself, and you don't even have to come in.
Okay, because I was afraid of questioning it or asking. I don't want them to change their mind.
Right.
Okay, so let's explain what happens in a loan modification. You have a contract with the lender that where you agreed to borrow a certain amount of money and they gave you certain terms. In a loan modification, the loan modification is simply modifying the terms of the existing contract, right? But that loan modification, as an amendment to the contract, also binds both you and the lender to those terms. So one party cannot arbitrarily decide to change the terms outside of what is written in the contract, i.e. the loan modification. So if the lender is now coming back with the fourth payment and saying, oh, by the way, we're now changing the terms again, well, you didn't agree to that.
Right.
How can they legally suddenly change the term and suddenly the payment is now $290 more a month, which I bet you it's going to make your payment more than 31% of your gross monthly income, which is outside of the guidelines that they were supposed to modify it to in the first place.
And worse than that, outside the terms of the contract.
Exactly. So I don't think that that's correct. And you might have an argument against that. I mean, think about it. That's a lot. That's going to add up for a lot of money. And how long is this PMI supposed to stay on for?
It didn't say. They
Oh.
put it in there.
Right.
So what if you just came back and said, you know what, I'm going to make the payment actually $500 less every month?
They wouldn't like that.
Well, I mean, it's the same thing.
Right. Exactly.
The reason why I don't know, because the permanent modification papers that I signed never mention anything about PMI.
Exactly the point.
Yeah, I got a real problem with it. So I want to see the original note, original mortgage, and the modification paperwork. I want to review it and have a conversation with you. So give the office a call. Tell them that you were just on the radio with me, and that that they should give you my email address, and you can email that to me and get, in the email, remind me that we spoke on the radio, and also leave your phone number.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
You're welcome.
Okay.
Because that's just not right.
That's an interesting concept.
Oh,
actually.
yeah. And I saw this happen back in 2011 and maybe half of 2012. This is what lenders were doing. Because they knew that they were, kind of being overseen by the monitor, what they would do is they would give people a loan modification that was at or below 31% of their gross monthly income.
To comply with the requirements of the monitor.
So they give it to them, and then just about the third or fourth payment in,
sneaky bastards.
they would see exactly. They would say, "Oh, we miscalculated your escrow. Your escrow isn't $400 a month.
Right.
It's $800 a month.
Right.
So your payment has now gone up by $400. And lo and behold, of course, that took them above the 31%. And so I would have to go back after I'd gotten this person a great loan modification, after all, they'd gone through the trial, they'd gone through the permanent, and I'd have to go back and I'd have to fight it, and have them completely redo the loan modification all over again. Of course, that ate away my entire profit because I had to do all that for free because, I was retained to get the personal loan mod, but I wanted to get them the loan mod they deserved, and it would drive me crazy. That probably happened half a dozen times over 2 years that they would do that.
Thank God, only so little. Hey, but apparently they're still doing it again. Look at this guy.
But this one isn't an adjustment or a recalculation of, oops, we calculated escrow wrong. This is actually saying that you have to do PMI on a loan. I'm sorry, PMI, folks, is mortgage insurance, property mortgage insurance. And the lender can force place property mortgage insurance. Like FHA loans all come where you have to have property mortgage insurance for the life of the loan, which is just awful. And it's very expensive, trust me, I know. The only way to get out of that is to actually refinance. So we were going to talk about the Mortgage Debt Forgiveness Act. Do we have time, Natalie?
We have about 30 seconds before we go to break.
Well, let's just tell people the Mortgage Forgiveness Debt Relief Act is the act that says that the IRS will forgive the tax consequences on that 1099 phantom income that you would have to report to the IRS if you get a loan modification that includes a principal reduction like Frank did of almost $400,000, or on a short sale when it waives the deficiency. We'll talk a little bit about it after the break and then go straight to the phones.
That's right. We have Say, George, and Leo on hold. We'll get to your calls right after the break here on the Home Mortgage Law Show. It's 800-974-2712 to book your free consultation at the law firm of Morris DuPont. 800-974-2712. Much more of the Home Mortgage Law Show right after this. You're listening to the Home Mortgage Mortgage Law Show, brought to you by Morris, DuPont, PA, and Regal Tax Advisory Group. And it's definitely tax time, so get them done and get them done right. Call Regal Tax Advisory Group, 800-6000-TAX. That's 800-6000-829. We've got attorneys Will Morris and Shay DuPont taking your calls right now. The toll-free number to call the studio and have your free consultation right here on the air. It's 866-610-NEWS, 866-610-6397. AT&T Wireless customers, star 610.
What's the date today? April
5th.
5th. Okay, I've got 10
days,
more days
taxes.
to finish my taxes with Regal. Okay, I can do it. I can do it. Are you going to do it, Will?
Well, I'm going to start looking for the shoe boxes, and then after that.
No, but really, I got super organized this year. I've been with Regal now for 3 years. Regal Tax Advisory Group. They've been doing my taxes. The first year I went with them, they amended my two taxes the 2 prior years and saved me a lot of money on taxes they didn't even do.
Right.
They went back and revised my taxes
Those
that had
guys
been
are
done
awesome.
by someone else. Now, last year did we file on time? Yes, I filed on time. But this year they had me doing the quarterly.
You might have done it on April 10th or something.
Yeah, but no, this year I'm definitely gonna file on time. I mean, look, I think it's just a matter of preference. Some people like to get it done. I'd rather have it done by January 15th.
Right.
And just pay the taxes and get it over with.
I'm an October kind of guy.
Yeah, but some people like to do extension after extension after extension, and they feel like they're getting more bang out of their money. I don't know. Whatever.
It's not I like to procrastinate. I like to put things off when I can do it later, particularly since I've done mine in October last year, and then now to turn around and do it before April 15th, it's too short of a time. I'll wait till October again.
But then if you do it in April and just start out on the right foot, then I can't even. Let's go to the phones.
Hi, Say. Welcome to the show.
Hi. What can we do for you today?
Say?
Hello.
No, Say. Let's go to George. Hi, George.
Hi, George.
Hi.
Hi. What
There
can we
you
do
go.
for you today?
Hi, I want to say thank you very much. We met a while back, and you handled my modification.
Well, thank you for calling in, George. So when
I
did
don't know if you remember me. You complimented me on my organization.
Well, that should be hard to figure out. There's not too many people coming with really, really organized files, huh?
Oh, there aren't. Most people come in and they have everything stuffed into a FedEx envelope. So I might actually do remember you. What office did we meet in?
Well, St. Pete.
Okay, so we met in the St. Pete office. How did you feel that you were treated during that consultation with me?
Oh, that was awesome. You were great. You were very informative. I was worried because my previous tries of trying to get things done were ignored by, I don't know if I should say the mortgage company.
Yeah, it doesn't matter.
Please. Why not?
Aquin.
Mm-hmm.
And you took over. You looked at my stuff, and we went ahead with it. And my mortgage went from $926 a month down to $495. Thank you very
Whoa.
much.
That's a huge
That's
difference. And
huge.
how did you feel any
You also-
pressure? Did you feel any pressure during the consultation to retain the law firm of Morris DuPont?
Actually, you tried to make me not.
Or did I just encourage you to try on your own?
Yes, and I tried to explain before. I had tried on my own and to no avail.
Mm-hmm.
And you guys took over, and you guys wonderful job. My what was it? The interest was that is down to 2 point something now.
Yay!
Awesome.
And how long did it take us from the time that you retained us to the time that you got into a permanent modification?
It was a few months. Yes,
Okay.
it took a few months.
All right.
Yeah.
And,
Yeah, it was well worth it.
Right.
well, I'd say so. If your mortgage payment was originally $926, after you retained us, we got you a permanent modification, and we got it down to $495 a month, and got the interest rate lowered to 2% plus. I would definitely say that was well worth it. Did we? Yeah. Did you pay a flat fee for our services?
Yes.
And at any time, did we nickel and dime you and ask you for more money, or say, oh, there's an
No,
extra fee for
absolutely
this?
not.
No.
And how was your overall experience with the people in the office, dealing with the people in the office?
They're very, very well organized and trained. Every time I call, if they don't have an answer, I get a call back. And one great thing is also that you don't what was that?
All right, so it was an overall great experience. I'm sorry we couldn't get the other great thing from you. Come on, as soon as you think about it, let us know.
Absolutely. Well, it was just nice of him to call in. I
Yeah,
really
it was
appreciate
awesome.
it. I really appreciate it.
And
That was very nice. And because I wanted people to understand from someone else's point of view other than mine. Right. I think I do a good job in the consultations. I think that, I don't put pressure on people to retain us. I think I'm just sitting there trying to explain what their options are, because so many people at the end of the consultation have turned around to me and said, I learned so much in this hour consultation, more than I've ever learned about this from, the last year and a half when I've been trying to do it on my own.
Absolutely.
Why didn't the lender explain any of this to me? Or why didn't my prior attorney or the person I hired to help me with the loan mod, they didn't explain any of this to me. So.
And that's the reward right there, Shay.
Yeah.
To have people walking out understanding what their options are and understanding what they're really, really looking at. That's the whole reason for the free consultation.
Yeah, exactly.
And we're taking your calls right now, 866-610-NEWS, 866-610-6397. AT&T Wireless customer star 610. Leo, welcome to the show.
Hi, Leo.
Hi, thank you for taking my call.
Well, no, thanks for listening to the show. We appreciate it.
No, I love listening to your shows on Saturday. It's very informative, and it helps me get a clearer head in the mayhem that I'm currently going through.
Well, you've just hit the nail on the head right there. That's why we do the show.
Mayhem.
Yeah.
Yes, sir.
So what is going on?
I currently am represented by another firm, and it's been for a while now, and I'm in a situation where I'm both in the foreclosure and the loan modification process right now. When my business went south, my wife and I had two homes, which one of them she signed the mortgage for. And when the business went south, that home went south with it. Along with that, I had a couple of judgments placed against me by my suppliers because the builders that I worked for didn't pay me. So I'm in this process, the loan modification process right now, but as of yet, I have not gotten any guidance from the people that represent me in reference to how these judgments, and I have a federal tax lien, which I finally got all the money together to pay it off. Last week I got the money. So that to me is a little bit of a relief, but I'm still in that unknown, insecure situation where my business is coming back slowly. I'm tied into the construction market, but at the same time, I don't know how these judgments and this lien are going to affect my getting a loan modification.
Those are very good questions you have, Leo. They're not something that comes up very often on the show, but I think it's very important because you're not alone. A lot of people have these kinds of situations. Number one, on the IRS, this is an IRS lien that is on your property?
Yes, it is.
Okay, so you cannot get a loan modification, a permanent loan modification approved with an IRS lien on the property. So that would need to be settled before you could enter into the permanent loan modification. So better to clear that up now. And of course, I wouldn't settle dollar for dollar with the IRS. I'd want to do a settlement with the IRS. And we do that on behalf of quite a few clients of ours that are in your situation. So you want to try and get a settlement that is less than the full amount that the IRS is asking. Get that IRS lien cleaned up before you get into a permanent loan modification. As far as personal judgments against you or your wife, that is not going to affect your ability to qualify for a permanent loan modification on the property.
I was almost under the impression that I would have to file for bankruptcy in order to clear all that up before I can get a loan mod. But that answers, my insecurities in reference to that.
Let's
Could
go a
you
little.
give me
Leo. Let's go a little further in depth. We're going to take a break, but when we come back, I want to talk about your debt and how it's going to be represented on your loan mod application. So stay with us.
Yeah, don't hang up just
will.
yet. You're listening to the Home Mortgage Law Show. It's 800-974-2712. Toll-free number for a free consultation at the law firm of Morris DuPont. If you can hear the show, there is an office near you. Just pick up the phone, 800-974-2712. Dennis, you're next, along with Leo, here on the Home Mortgage Law Show. You're listening to the Home Mortgage Law Show, 866-610-NEWS. We're taking your calls, 866-610-NEWS. AT&T Wireless customer star 610. Attorneys Shay DuPont and Will Morris. And we've got Leo on the line. Leo, thanks for holding.
Thank you. Can I use that payment that I already have the money to pay that IRS payment as a leverage in order to get my loan modification? Because my concern is the following: if I pay the loan off and these guys are not willing to give me my loan modification, I just threw away a whole chunk of change that I could use somewhere else.
Well, don't you have to pay off that IRS lien anyway? I mean, that's going to have to be dealt with eventually.
Eventually, I'm 4 years away from reaching that 10-year grace period where everything's forgiven, but I understand what you're saying.
Okay.
I will definitely try to pay it off then in the next couple of days, just go into the IRS.
No, but let's see whether or not we even think you qualify for a loan modification. I mean, what part of town do you live in?
I live in the Pembroke Pines. My issue is that I've been waiting now for 4 months to hear from the servicer as to whether the modification has gone through or not, and they just keep delaying it, and there's no comeback, no feedback from them.
Have they asked you for updated documents?
No, none whatsoever.
That's not good.
It's crazy.
That's not good at all. So, Leo,
the people that represent me right now send me a little note saying that we spoke to such and such a person, and they're still reviewing your file, and the anxiety that you live under when you find yourself losing your home.
Have you contacted who's your lender?
My lender is Fannie Mae, which is another perplexing thing because Fannie Mae has a servicer, and Fannie Mae basically doesn't give you any discount of principal. They really are not as flexible with reduction of principal and escrows and things like that.
No, it's not a matter of flexibility, Leo. It's a hard and fast rule. Fannie Mae and Freddie Mac do not allow principal reductions. You can get a principal deferment where the lender will agree to set aside some amount of the principal, but you cannot get a principal reduction. You heard Frank on the phone with us earlier where he got a principal reduction of almost $400,000 on his mortgage through a loan modification. You're not going to see that. You could see the lender defer some of it, but they won't forgive it. And
what do you mean by deferring?
Defer, let's say, give me your numbers. What is the current market value of your property?
The current market of my house is about $390,000.
And what do you owe? What do you owe on your first mortgage?
My mortgage is $358,000, and I'm in arrears $190,000, which is a bogus number because I've already proven they are charging me close to $99,000 for taxes and insurance on the house, and I've proved to them that it's only about $21,000. And I've sent that information to the people that represent me, and they're just saying, well, once we get into the loan modification, back and forth with the servicer, we will address this issue. And
that's wrong. That's completely wrong, and that's going to mess you up. So right now, they think that you owe $548,000. You're disputing 70,000 of that possibly, but even that would mean that you still have negative equity of probably about at least $100,000 on the property. So my point with Fannie is you've got to, number one, you've got to clean up this escrow issue now before the loan mod process really begins, because that's going to skew all your numbers wrong, and they could possibly not qualify you for a loan modification because of those skewed numbers on the escrow that's messed up right now. So you need to get that escrow cleared up so that the principal is not so high. But what I'm talking about deferred is, let's say that your current market value is $390 and what you owe is $548. So the difference is, I don't know what that is. What's five?
Well, it's a sizable amount.
548, 114, 5. $150,000 in negative equity. What I'm saying is that Fannie Mae will not forgive that $150,000 in negative equity. What they'll do is they'll put it off to the side and say, okay, your mortgage payments are based on $390,000 at times 4.5% times 40 years. Use a mortgage calculator and you'll see what that is. And that would be what your principal and interest payment would be. Include your escrow, and you can actually calculate what your best case scenario loan modification would be. But they're never going to forgive that $150,000 that they put on the side. It will either be a balloon payment at the end of the loan, or if you ever sell that property, you're going to have to pay off the total amount, including the $150 that's sitting off on the side, not bearing interest. So, Leo, I don't do this all the time. You hear me on the air all the time. I don't do it all the time, but I'm seriously recommending that you come in and see me at the Doral office. Let's sit down. Number one, let's calculate together what I think your best case scenario would be for a loan modification to see if that's even something that you want based on what I will tell you your best case payment would be. Secondly, let's call your servicer and see what's going on with the loan mod application and why it's taking so long and why they haven't asked you for any updated documents in 4 months. And let's just look at what your different options are before you go and pay off that IRS lien.
I will definitely do that. I have your office number right now, and I wrote it down earlier while you were going through the other calls, and I will call your office and make an appointment to see you. I appreciate your time, and
by the way, if anyone out there has other foreclosure defense attorney representing them, and they want the law firm of Morris DuPont to represent them, you come in with a retainer agreement. Show us what your monthly payment is. We'll match it and represent you.
Okay.
All right. Well, thanks so much.
You folks. Thank you very much for your help.
You're very welcome. You need some help. I want to help you.
Thank you.
All right. Bye, Leo.
We've got a couple minutes left. Dennis, welcome to the show.
Hi, Dennis.
Hi, Shay. How are you? Hi, Will. It's great to talk to you guys.
Thanks so much. What can we do for you?
I am a current client of yours in the Doral office, and Jennifer's my attorney.
Yay.
And I have to tell you, Jennifer. I have to tell you that from the very, very first day, you guys have been nothing but total professionals. I am so glad that I am being represented by you guys. Every time I have a question, no matter what it is, I email, I get a response, if not within hours, certainly the same day.
That's very nice.
Say anything more. Yeah, I cannot speak any more highly about your office and everybody that works in that office. I do have a question. We're getting probably close to that short sale issue, and my question is, if we go to short sale, what happens if, or I guess the question is it potentially possible that the lender will send me a statement that shows the money, the difference between what I owed and what the short sale was, comes to me as income?
Well, that's what happens in a short sale. Let's use your individual numbers. I know we only have a few minutes here, but we can talk about it after. We'll do the analysis after. Let's take the numbers now. What do you owe on your first mortgage?
On the first mortgage, I think it is $230.
$230. Do you have a second mortgage?
Yes, it's like $25,000.
$25,000. What's the current market value of the property?
130.
Okay, so 130. So you're going to have a completely unsecured second mortgage, and you're going to have to get $100,000 waived on the first mortgage, assuming that the amount of money that the lender receives from the short sale is $130,000. Let's just use those because that's nice, easy numbers. So what's going to happen? The property sells for 130, so that knocks off $130,000 of the first mortgage. So you're left with it's 130. You're left with $100,000 that is forgiven on the first mortgage and $25,000 that's forgiven on the second mortgage. You're going to receive in the January following the year in which the property sells. Let's assume the property sells in 2014. That means next January 2015, you're going to receive 1099s from your first mortgage lender for $100,000, and you're going to receive a 1099 from your second mortgage holder for the $25,000. Why? Because they forgave that amount, and I'm going to explain it all after the break.
And you're listening to the Home Mortgage Law Show. Don't go anywhere, Dennis. We're going to get right back to you. 800-974-2712. Toll-free number for a free consultation at the law firm of Morris DuPont. 800-974-2712. After the break, more calls and our Rocky segment here on the Home Mortgage Law Show.